Would you say there's like a certain amount of income or a certain level in the business when you think it's a good idea to incorporate or become an LLC? Well, I guess for us it would be more of a corporation, but
probably,
because like I just incorporated. I'm 4.5 years in. So for, a few years we didn't have to do that. And now it got to the point where, okay, like, yes, let's incorporate. So what would you say?
There's some tax advantages for filing corporations and possibly even LLCs. When a client walks into my office and says, I want to open an LLC, I want to open a corporation, I really ask them, is this something you're doing full time? Or is this something is side money? Because a lot of people, they have a full-time job with a W-2 and they do consulting. And they might be making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on the side every year consulting. Forming a corporation, as you know, there's a lot involved with it. There's a lot of maintenance. You have to issue yourself payroll. You have to file a separate corporate return every year. You have to take corporate minutes. There's a lot involved. So if you're only going to be making an extra 30, 40 grand a year for the sake of just maintenance and without the headache, I'd say you don't need that. Once you start getting into the $100,000 or more, and there's lots of transactions, I would say that's when you probably want to think about starting a corporation. So I kind of use that $100,000 as a threshold, or right in the beginning doesn't really matter the money, but it matters how much is this going to grow.
It's different for every person too. Like you said before, every industry is very different. So, it really comes down to liability. That's the biggest misconception. Like the LLC is limited liability company. That's really what you're doing. You're just ensuring yourself that you have liability in the event that you get sued. That's more important than any type of tax advantage. You're actually not getting tax advantages from an LLC. Once you get into S corps and versus the LLC or a partnership, there's a lot of details that go into that for probably another video and how you can have tax advantages. But if you're a single one-member LLC, there's no difference between you being an independent contractor or you being a single-member LLC. There's none tax-wise.
It's treated exactly the same for tax purposes. So a lot of times people go and file an LLC because they think they need to for taxes, and they just spent, if you're in Manhattan or the Bronx like we are, it's $1,500 to open an LLC because you have to publish it. Yep. It's different for everybody around the country, but it's just an expense you don't need. So I think it's determining how far is this business going to grow. Mm-hmm. Is it something I'm just doing part-time and I'm only going to pick up 20, 30 grand a year? No need to. No, this is something I'm doing full-time. I hope to grow this to hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. Then you would probably want to start with a corporation. So we always tell people to go out and do it first. As you know, sometimes it works for some girls and sometimes it doesn't.
Especially with that network marketing, because Monet, I would actually say, is like one of the few where you see a lot of people, have become successful where I don't want to make this a promotional video, but it's not a promotional video for Monet, but it just so happens that we've seen a couple of the clients that have, actually stuck to it and have made a decent amount of money off of it, where a lot of times you see network marketing and it's really always dependent upon how focused and how driven are you going to be. And if you have a full-time job, you got a family, and you're thinking that this is just something where I can make, a couple extra bucks, a lot of times it doesn't really pan out for those type of people. But, so it's really how much time are you investing, how much money are you actually making.